Well, still working on the tailgate. Got all the paint removed down to bare metal like you saw in the last video. I also flipped it over and scuffed all the brown paint on the other side. I'm not gonna flip it over right now. Got all this scuffed up as well. There are some dents along the top of this like I showed in my previous video. Got a bigger one, kind of some multiple little dents right in there. And I got these all scuffed up. I scuffed them with a 40 grit sanding disc. So now I need to take some of my wax and grease remover, clean all those areas off, and then mix up some body filler, which this is the stuff that I use, and get those filled in. Get those all slathered up good with some body filler, and then I'll sand them all down nice and smooth. Best I can. I seem to do a fairly decent job at this. We'll be painting this thing before you know it. And before I get too carried away here, I guess I might as well fill in where I welded these holes up. So I need to get them all scuffed up as well. So I have the first coat of filler on these places. Didn't really do a lot out here. They didn't need much, but I kind of skimmed over the top of them. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do right in through here. This whole thing was low a little bit. Right down in through here, and through here, and through here. And I'm kind of thinking that's just the way the tailgate is. It doesn't really seem like a warpage issue or anything, and I didn't have a lot of heat in this thing. But it's just a real gradual kind of low spot right in these areas. So I might be able to get it filled in with some filler a little bit. It's not that much. So I'm gonna sand that down, see how we're looking. Probably have to put on another coat or three, and I'll show you what we have when I get done. And it is the next day. Going to be a warm day here in central Iowa. It's supposed to be in the middle 80s, I believe. And here in a couple of days, it's supposed to be almost 90. They just started out here yesterday. There you can, not sure how good they show up on camera. That is, that's a Stein soybean operation. Got a, I can't see on the viewfinder very good. There's a combine here and a combine over here somewhere and some wagons. And they are picking seed corn. Those are a couple of custom made combines. They're made, they have kind of a flat top on them. And they are made for, I don't know how many people, but people will stand up around there and they'll pick through the corn and throw out the bad ones, I guess. Slow moving, but that's what they're doing. They are picking seed corn. Coming back onto this, I've got the little dents up along the top of the tailgate here. Those are pretty well smoothed out. I need to sand them down. I put one last coat of body filler on last night. And then these areas, this whole section in through here was a little low where I have body filler on. I really wish I had checked that before I welded those holes shut. I can't think that as smooth as it was, the little curvature in there, I can't think that came out of welding. I think it was always that way. But I'm smoothing them out a little bit. They still may not be perfect, but they're a lot smoother than they were. I think it's gonna turn out pretty good. Also, somebody in the comments after the first video I did on this, they made a comment about getting, you can get these letters as a vinyl sticker, and I actually think that might be the way I'm going to go. I just don't know that I trust myself doing the outline of the letters perfectly, and it may not end up looking the greatest. This isn't something I do every day. Never done that before, but I do think the vinyl letters in white, I think that would look just fine. If not, I can always take them off and then attempt painting. Also here after a while, I may be going and looking at a new project truck. I had a guy contact me and he is willing to trade this truck straight across for the camper, I believe. It's about an hour away, but I think I may go take a look at it and see what I'm dealing with. Well, it's yet another day. I can't seem to keep going on this. I always get sidetracked off to something else. I went and looked at that truck last night and it needs some work. But I'll tell you a little bit about what it is. It's a 1995 F150 Eddie Bauer edition. Has a 351 engine, four-wheel drive, manual shift four-wheel drive. It only has 131,000 miles on it, but it needs some loving. The interior isn't too bad. I got something flying around my lens. The interior is in pretty decent shape, and the engine, it's been sitting for a while. We put a charger on her, fired her right up, and it sat there and was quiet. I was really amazed at how quiet it just sat there and idle, just quiet as could be. He told me he didn't know if the four-wheel drive worked, but I drove it down the road and back, and it was actually in four-wheel drive low. So we know the four-wheel drive works, and it does shift back and forth. Transmission seems real strong, engine runs good, but it needs some body work. He is willing to trade me straight up for the camper that I have, so essentially it's a free truck. I'm kind of thinking I may do it. But as far as this tailgate goes, I'm getting it about where I want it. It's pretty smoothed out now. I do have a place right in here. This is a little low down in here. From about right up in here down, needs just a little bit more. I need to go over the rest of it real good and see if there's any other low spots that still need filled in, but it's getting where I want it finally, and then I'll be spraying this with some primer. The primer that I was going to use is this Tamco, it's called Tamco Galva Prime. This is the stuff that I used on my green truck, not this, but there's like nothing left in this can. The other stuff I have is it's also called Galva Prime. They developed this, I believe it was for some kind of big, I don't know if it was gravel trucks or mining trucks, I can't remember. They wanted something that was extremely durable to protect from rust, and this is what they came up with. This is black, which it's almost clear full. Since I have it, I'm thinking I may use it. My only question is that going to affect the top coat color? I don't know. It's just on the tailgate. May give it a try and hope for the best. I say I keep getting sidetracked on things like today. I have to go to the doctor here in just a little bit, not because I'm sick or anything like that. Basically just so I can get my medicine refilled. Complete waste of time. You end up sitting in the doctor's office for about an hour and a half. It just takes forever. Well, after I do that, then I'll have to go get my daughter from school not too long after that. And then hopefully I can get back to work on this. This whole tailgate ordeal it's drawing out a lot longer than I had anticipated that it would. I keep having things come up that I have to go do or want to go do, and it's just taking a long time to get this done, but it's almost there. I'll be putting primer on it. I don't know if I'll get primer on it yet tonight. If not tonight, probably tomorrow. And there's the Moxie dog. So this truck I'm looking at, like I said, it's a 1995. It's a lot like my truck. And as far as the body work that would need to be done on it goes, pretty much the same thing. I don't think there's hardly a body panel on it that doesn't need work or replaced. It does have a good windshield though. Also has a sliding rear window. But on that truck, both the front fenders need replaced. It's all rusty up around here. The passenger door isn't too bad, but I looked along the bottom inside and it's starting to rust in there. Both the rear wheel wells are pretty rusty. And I know on the driver's side, it needs the wheel well, and then in front of the wheel well and behind the wheel well down towards the bottom, really needs a whole new bedside. Also, on the inside, both the wheel wells are rusted out on top, so it really just needs a new bed, and finding a new bed around here isn't that easy. Actually, on the way home, I saw another truck, same body style, and it had a flatbed on it. Didn't have duals in the back, it was just single rear wheel. I thought about maybe putting a flatbed on it with some big fat tires on the back. Something to think about. Go get it, Mox. There's a truck coming down the road. She seems to think she has to chase everything that comes down the road. So I keep telling myself I'm unsure if I want to get that truck. At the same time, it's basically a free truck. If he takes my camper, which I think he will, he said as long as he's not gonna like fall through the floor, and it seems to be solid. It is solid. For as old as it is, I think it's in pretty good shape. So really I wouldn't be out anything, and if I got the truck, got started on it, decided I just didn't want to do it or whatever, I could probably sell it, make a little something off of it, look for something else, or at least it's got a good 351 engine in it. I've got to go get ready to go to the doctor here pretty soon, and then later this afternoon, possibly tonight, I will get this all finished up, maybe get some primer on it, and that will be in my next video. The idea is, I think, to get the white vinyl letters, put them inside these letters after I paint the whole thing green, and then come back and clear coat over the letters and the entire tailgate. Probably the first thing I'm gonna do after I get this all straightened out, I'm gonna flip it over. I'll prime the back side of it. So then when I flip it back over, something gets marred up a little bit. I'm not too concerned. Like I said before, I'm gonna have a full tailgate protector on the inside of this, so I'm not real concerned about how the inside looks, but I do think, it's gonna turn out okay. And the next truck I get, if it needs a tailgate, probably end up with this one unless I put this on my truck and just fall in love with it. We'll see. I know this truck I was looking at, it needs a tailgate. It's all rusted out along the bottom of it. Really, the rust on that truck I don't think is any worse than the rust that was on my green truck. Just not sure I want to do that much work again. Although if I got a new bed for it or went with a flatbed, I could just take the bed that's on it off, toss it out, and put a good bed on it. At a minimum, it would make a really good parts truck. So like I said, I need to get ready to go to the doctor and then finish this up later on. So I'm gonna end this video right here. Give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.